This is beautiful. I'm going to get the clicker from you. So, in terms of creating these authentic, heart-centered relationships, just going to give a couple of tips about the art of small talk. I am a late adopter to the art of small talk. As an intelligent person for decades, I really thought small talk was lame and a waste of time. It's definitely not. It is an art form. And I think for many of us, it can be difficult. However, if you see somebody who's an excellent practitioner, it's a wonderful business social skill. It is killer. So, what is small talk? Small talk has to do with manners. It has to do with our ability, Luis was talking about making people feel welcome, an ability to have people feel at ease. Have people feel at ease about something that's a lighthearted topic. So it's informal, it's conversation just simply for its own sake. It could be very elementary remarks. Tonight, it would be beautiful to say to someone, look at this space. This is very interesting. I'm so glad to have a chance to be here. That's a great icebreaker, light, small talk thing to say. An event like this, it's about the environment, and the person's going to be able to weigh in. You both look good. You both can engage, right? And then, very important, small talk is not transactional. Not transactional. I grew up with a parent who was in healthcare. My mom was a registered nurse. Guys, I really feel for people in healthcare. They can't go anywhere. People are always asking them for advice and to diagnose them. And, you know, like I worked in banking and there was a mortgage crisis. And so then I would get backed into a corner, somebody demanding, you know, some type of something with their mortgage, right? And I would be standing there like, God, I'm with a glass of wine, like I don't work at home mortgage. It's actually a separate company inside Wells Fargo. So I say not transactional unless both partners are in agreement, both parties, right? So if you were chatting with someone tonight and they work at a car dealership and you need a car, and both of you are like, hey, oh my gosh, show me on your screen, what kind of vehicles do you have on the lot right now? So long as both of you are in agreement, I say, fair game, go ahead, be transactional. What to avoid? Most of us know to avoid politics and religion. Politics and religion. Some workplaces of work actually have a policy that you do not talk about politics in the workplace because it can just be really distracting and upsetting and emotional, right? But what are other topics potentially to avoid? Potentially, in a business social setting, you're wanting to make a good impression, foster a positive, authentic tie. Sometimes health, not a good topic. Sometimes family relations, not a good topic. Job career status, both Luis and I talked about the strain of being out of a job. So Luis and I talk about sometimes it's maybe not a good opening question to say, what do you do? Sometimes, we do that so often, but that's not necessarily always a 100% good question. So just be putting some other ideas, other concepts into your toolkit. Anything else that comes to mind that when you look back you think, yeah, somebody said something to me and it was like stressful. Okay, I'll admit one of mine. I was walking on the Skyway in Minneapolis with some new colleagues and I ran into an old colleague. And after we hugged and said hello, the old colleague said really loudly, Lori, are you still not getting child support? I was like, oh my God. That was absolutely not small talk. That was not small talk. That was not a lighthearted thing. But anything else that comes to mind that you think, this could be a sort of a hidden landmine, maybe not a good business social. Yes?
Well, like the old bosses, like there was an awareness of some conflict. You don't want to bring up
Yeah.
Old stuff, old relationships, conflicts, exactly. Exactly.
And I,
Any other, oh, Mimi, you have one that came to
Don't
mind?
go to a networking event when you have a few drinks.
Yeah.
Maybe you can embarrass yourself.
I-
Not that I did that.
That's right, but maybe nobody in this room, but other people that we know or have heard about might have over imbibed and said something or said too much. Luis, did you have something?
I was just gonna say that on the, so remember too that, and we have a slide on that, in intercultural networking, that in the US, it's more common for people to start a conversation with, what do you do? You can do it here in the US, it's fine. But for some people from other parts of the world, that's like a very intrusive question. It's like, what do you do? Wow, like, you wanna meet me first?
Do you want my dental
It's like-
records?
Yeah, it's like, it takes a little bit of, relationship there to build before you can go. It's like, yeah, I'll tell you what I do, but like, don't start with that, right? So something to be aware of. And sometimes when I say that, people say, well, you are in America, you gotta do what we do in America. Yeah, but what if that is a customer you wanna sell to? Then it doesn't matter you're in America. If you wanna sell to the person, you gotta kind of build that relationship. And in fact, what I have done, like sometimes when I go to a networking event and I get there and somebody, greets me with a, what do you do? Sometimes, because I like to mess up with people, I'll say, I'm in transition. And people immediately change and all that. And, I'm so sorry. No, why are you sorry? No, because, you don't have a job. No, I have a job. Okay, I thought that you said that you were in transition. No, I am in transition. Well, I'm confused. You're in transition, but you have a job. Yeah, because I'm always in transition. Whether I have a job or not, I'm always in transition because I'm in transition to something better. I'm growing, expanding, testing, learning, so I'm always in transition. Are you not in transition? Because if you're not in transition, you're stuck. Then I'm sorry, my friend.
This is like a scene from a movie. That's great. So then, my tips are to look. Oh, yes, you had something to add.
I
Yes.
wanted to bring up one more.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to how people might not think that what do you do can be kind of hot button.
Yeah.
I always think it's valuable for people to hear that talking about children is not a good way to talk
Right.
about with strangers, or even people, even your relatives.
Yeah.
Just because someone just got married, or just started dating, or just had a kid, does not mean you can say, when are you having a kid? When are you having
Yeah.
another kid? Any of that.
Right. It's really personal. It's deeply personal. Thank you. This is perfect. So, what my research